This is our kitchen in our first ever home that we just recently got the keys to. It looks pretty good, doesn't it? Wrong.
Oh my god. Look at that.
Holy oh my god. This kitchen, like everything else in our flat so far, has some serious problems.
Starting to notice, which is a little bit concerning, that when I come inside the flat, a smell. And the smell kind of hits you as soon as you walk in through the front door. It's not a very pleasant smell. I can't really work it out.
So our new one-bedroom flat was previously rented out to the same guy for the last 10 years. And I honestly believe that in those last 10 years, nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, has happened to this flat.
Oh my god, that's disgusting.
We genuinely thought that we'd be moving in no time after a little bit of light redecorating, adding our own personal touch, but within just 1 week, the excitement quickly turned to frustration as problems after problems started appearing.
Look at that.
And honestly, we're still uncovering those new issues every single day, as our biggest issue that we're about to uncover is that the kitchen absolutely stinks. And here's why. Warning, the following video contains strong language, the use of the Lord's name in vain, scenes of disgusting nature, and some seriously novice DIY. If you're a tradesperson of any kind, I do apologise in advance. Seriously, if you're eating dinner, you may want to stop.
Neil's just undone, what is it, the U-bend pipe? Is that what you call it? Or the waste pipe? I don't bloody know, but it stinks.
Man, that's a heavy smell.
Oh my god.
Oh, hang on.
Oh no. Oh my god.
What are the cruds in there?
Oh my god.
I thought my toenails were bad.
What is that?
Don't touch that with your hand.
Oh.
That smells like sewage.
Yeah.
Raw sewage.
Honestly, that's what it smelt like when you used to walk in here.
We lived opposite a graveyard for 10 years and that didn't smell that bad.
Oh, that is bad. Look at that. We need a fork, don't we, or something to get it out. Oh my god. How do people live like that?
Taste it.
Taste it. That's what I don't get. How do people live like that?
Don't know, we got a Phillips, a flat-headed screwdriver.
Yeah.
That's years of living.
Oh.
Oh man, I've had my fingers in some holes, what never this bad.
So you can quite clearly see now that we had found the source to the smell in our kitchen. And to be honest, it gets even worse.
Oh, look at the grey in that. That's just years of food, isn't
Do you
it?
know what we need to do? We need air freshener.
Oh, you... You're absolutely wrong. Oh my god. Look at that. How do people live like this? Somebody was renting this property for 10 years. So this isn't a new smell that's happened. Oh man.
There's still more in there.
Van Mum's spraying some, what is it?
I don't...
Lime scale cleaner.
There's your fish scales.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was like a slug coming out.
Yeah, that's where your smell's coming from. Oh. And it's thick as well.
Yeah, that's been there years, isn't it? Just building up.
That's got a meaty girth on it though.
So the more pipes we started to uncover, the more serious this kind of got, because it could have caused some real issues.
Oh my lord.
It's actually a good job you've done this. Because if you'd have left your sink on, right, ready for this? That's your overflow pipe. If you left your sink on,
It would just keep right. It wouldn't even flow through. It's just blocked. The overflow pipe was blocked. That is the overflow pipe, which was blocked.
there she blows.
So I want to seriously express just how vital and important this overflow pipe actually is in any household, because an overflow pipe is in every home, in your kitchen sink, in your bathroom sink, and in your actual bathtub. Let's just say that you start filling up your kitchen sink because you're about to do some washing up, and as can often happen, you get slightly distracted and you completely forget that you've left the tap running. The water levels then start to increase and get higher and higher until it reaches the overflow level. The overflow pipe is designed so that when the level of the water gets too high, the water will then drain down that pipe, which of course then starts to decrease the water level, which then prevents your entire home from flooding. The fact that our overflow pipe was completely blocked means that it could have caused a serious flood to our entire flat, but also everybody else in the building.
Well, yeah, you're right though. If you left the sink on, it's not draining out, is it?
No.
It's just going to keep. Yeah. Oh my God! It's like a layer of crust. Not even crust. Looks like jelly.
Once you've got all these clean, get a load of bleach in it, run it through a couple of times, and they'll clean because they're thicker pipes than the other ones. The other ones are all thinner pipes coming off, and you got traps and.
Look! You can see it under there still. Is there a way to get that out? Oh, there we go. Hell.
And you were washing your dishes in that?
Well, not yet, thankfully. My next plan for today right now to kind of make a little bit more progress in the kitchen is to get the sink back with the pipes in, because let me show you what I've done. I have drenched them in bleach for probably the last day, and they are honestly, look how clean that is now. So much cleaner. You can actually see through it now. That did not look like that 2 days ago. And guess what? It smells brand spanking new and as clean as a whistle.
The bleach had done a bloody good job at getting rid of 99% of all of the dirt and grime that was actually sitting inside of the pipes, but to take things one step further, I bought a couple of these brushes off Amazon and I just started to clean and scrub the inside.
Oh, look at that. It's all black and disgusting. If you've never cleaned your pipes at home, hopefully this video has given you the inspiration that, hey, you probably should. That is like a brand new pipe. If we ever leave the tap on now in the kitchen sink, the water actually has somewhere to drain when it gets to the overflow level. Whereas before, it would have just completely blocked and it would have flooded the whole flat. We now have brand spanking clean kitchen pipes. There are still a few pipes in here that are connected. Like you can see, that one there is still very dirty. I want to say this is from the washing machine, and perhaps this one here is from the dishwasher, or it might be the other way around. What I am going to do is take things a step further and actually remove these kickboards to see if I can take out this pipe here, because you can see how just dirty it is. It should be white, but it's obviously not. Wow. Oh my God, it's filthy. Holy sh**. Oh my God. Wow, look at the state of all of that. Oh my God. It is absolutely filthy under here. Look at that. You've got things like nuts, coffee beans. Wow, that is horrible. Please, if you're watching this video, look under your kickboards and clean your pipes, because this has been a massive eye-opener for me. I've opened up a can of worms here, but I'm bloody glad I've done it. Evie has told me today I have to crack on with the bathroom, otherwise she's going to kill me, because I've been saying that for the last couple of days, but I just get sidetracked. Oh my God. My God. We've got bottle caps. Look at the amount of dust. I wouldn't be surprised if I find a dead rat down here. A bit of, I don't even know, polystyrene or something. I'm cleaning all of this up. What is that? Oh, you've got a bit of burnt food. A nut. I'm excited now. What are we going to find under this one? And this one? Hopefully a pot of gold or something. Some treasure would be nice. Place your bets. What's under here? Oh. Not too bad, that one. That's disappointing. Still, again, bits of food. Okay, under this one, not too bad. Just covered in dust and, I don't know, Celotex or something. Oh, wow, look at that. Look at all of the dust and stuff there. This is disgusting. Evie, my darling, I'm sorry. I'm not starting on the bathroom today because got a little bit sidetracked. Quite interesting looking at all this, because now I'm starting to understand pipework a lot more. Oh wow, that is filthy. Oh, that stinks. Ooh. Holy guacamole, it's going on the floor. Oh, my God. Okay, this is the washing machine pipe. Where can I put this? I need a bucket. Right, I don't care what anyone says. I think I'm just going to take everything out. So that also means pulling out the washing machine. One washing machine out with, oh my God, what is that on it? Oh, not sure I'm going to be able to actually take out this pipe because it goes straight into the washing machine. But at least I can take it out and clean behind there.
So as you can now tell from seeing how disgusting the pipes were, and also underneath the kickboards, that we had uncovered a lot of absolutely vile things in this kitchen. And to be honest with you, I've never seen anything like it before. But then again, this is our first home, so maybe things like this are normal. But let me know in the comments if you've ever experienced anything like this. Now with everything exposed, we could give everything a proper once-over and the most thorough clean of its entire life. So Neil and Emma came back round and we started putting all of the clean pipework back together. We hoovered up and wiped down underneath the kickboards to make sure that was nice and clean. And then me and Evie stumbled across one final surprise that this kitchen had in store for us.
It's all been going off today. Evie's up on the ladder and cleaning above there.
This is all like cooking grease, but...
Is it?
Yeah, look. You're gonna have to watch the video because you can't see up here.
It looks like hair.
Yeah, no, it's dust on top of sticky grease. This is sticky as well.
All over there, is it?
Literally all over everything.
So overall it took us 4 days to clean this kitchen from head to toe. But now with it finally clean and smell free, we could actually start preparing to completely transform our kitchen.
I didn't want to film the entire process of preparing this wall because if you haven't seen me painting the bedroom, go and check out that video, it's a little bit more detailed. So the smell is hopefully now all dealt with, done and dusted. Today's job is to get the first coat of the new Valspar kitchen palest, what's it called? Palest satin on the walls.
So we had already spent a day or so just preparing the entire room ready for paint, just by sanding down the walls, the skirting board, even removing the old light fittings on the ceiling, which meant the room was now ready to be painted and for its complete DIY makeover. The first lesson to be learned today, which the professionals call cutting in, was for me to learn how to paint by hand without using tape.
Hopefully it should be faster and cheaper just cutting in instead. But apparently this takes a bit of practice and this is the first time I've ever done it. There is a technique to the angle that you should be putting the brush. Okay, well, that's certainly wonky, but not to worry. Because it's only the first coat, and I've been told, or I watched a couple of YouTube videos actually, where they said on your first time cutting in, on your first coat, actually do it underneath where you want the line to be, because when you come back, once this paint has dried, it's easier to use the brush on a pre-painted wall. Anyway, let's get to painting this bloody room. We are having an absolute nightmare. First off, we painted the tester pot up there. Tester pot seems to be a different colour
Don't do that.
than we got yesterday. Now we're having issues with the roller,
I'm not on 0.5. So.
and it's just smashed me straight in the face. Sake, man. Why is nothing ever simple?
So after a bit of a messy start and a not so straight line with my first attempt cutting in, our strategy for painting the rest of the kitchen was that I would do the cutting in and try and practice and do the best that I possibly could, and then Evie would follow up behind me with the roller and paint the rest of the wall. I've got to be honest with you, I was not a fan of cutting in and painting by hand. However, this was my first time, so like anything you do in life, the more you do it, the better you will get.
I've decided I don't like painting light colours because it's bloody hard to see what's been painted and what hasn't, and it looks bloody patchy to me. But this is still first coat.
I'm going to speed through the painting process or it will literally be like watching paint dry, but we continued on adding the first top layer of paint, and then in between the second coat we gave everything a good sand. And once everything had dried, we could take off any masking tape that we'd put around the door frames and the skirting boards. And after this was all done, the kitchen had a fresh new look to it.
There we have it. After an entire weekend of painting, the kitchen is done. Initially, when we put it on, I didn't like it at all. I thought, oh, the cupboards blend in way too much with the actual wall. But actually, when you see it against the white door frame, you can see how nice the colour actually is. I do think a future plan will be anyway to change all of these cupboard doors. But for right now, I'm going to leave them as is because we can't afford to go changing everything at once. And we need to try and move into this place in the next couple of weeks when I eventually start the bathroom. But I think that's going to be in the next video. I wasn't going to film this, but I think I have to now because this is just DIY for you and things are going slightly wrong. So let me try to explain. If you remember, in the bedroom, I replaced the sockets and the light switch for these brand spanking new sparkly black nickel switches and sockets and all of that stuff. I am now attempting to replace all of these socket covers and stuff for our black nickel ones so that it matches throughout the entire flat. It is going severely wrong in the kitchen.
So all I was trying to do was wire in our new black nickel switch to replace the existing white switch, but it wasn't quite that simple.
If you look on the back here, you've got a two gangway L2 COM L1. Unfortunately, the new light switch doesn't look exactly the same as the back of this. So I tried to wire it up as like for like as I possibly could, just using the very basic knowledge and experience that I've got, and it doesn't work. When I flick this switch on, nothing happens. When I flick this switch on, the living room light turns on. I don't know how well you can see that, but the living room light turns on. And I have no idea right now how to wire this correctly. I've got about 10 different wires here. I've tried a few different variations to try and make things work. I just did it a minute ago and the bathroom lights came on. Why this switch is linked to the bathroom, I have absolutely no idea. And I just cannot seem to get it right at all. This main switch, what we want to happen is for this left-hand switch here to turn those 4 lights on and off, the right-hand switch here to turn the LED strip light on and off. And then you have a bit of mood lighting and some main lighting when you need it. Then let's say you're in the living room, you're chilling, and you don't want to walk all the way over there. You just are supposed to be able to flick this switch on and off, and that would turn the entire system in the kitchen off. However, currently, it does nothing apart from makes the LED lights flicker. Sockets, no problem. A switch when it's a single gang switch in a bedroom, no problem. Kitchen, blows my mind. Progress is being made. I have just wired in this fused socket. I think I've done it correctly. So this one goes to the dishwasher because you can currently see there are no lights on the dishwasher. When I flick this switch on, we now have a light on the dishwasher. So I'm finding the easiest way to wire this all in is just to do it one wire at a time. The power is off. I am not that stupid. Otherwise I'd be dead now. I would just like to add, do not try this stuff at home. Do not do as I do and do not do as I say. Always consult a professional, and a professional I am not. So that is the neutral load, that is the neutral supply.
So my electrical knowledge and experience really is very basic, and like I said, wiring in a socket or a single light switch is no problem at all.
Oh my god, how awkward is electrics?
But opening up the light switch in the kitchen, and now these few spurs that power things like the dishwasher, the washing machine and the hob, well, this was all completely new to me.
Let's see when I flick this if... I think it's the washing machine. Okay, it's not the washing machine.
A few moments later.
I just realised it probably doesn't help that the electric's off. Oh dear. Right, let's try that again, shall we? So this should now be for the washing machine. Hey! Yekshamesh.
Now I had it all electrically wired in correctly,
Got these little black screws here that match it.
I thought I could just screw this all together and the job would be done.
Oh, brilliant. Why is this not going in now?
But as always, things were being a bit tricky.
Jesus, who knew wiring in a bloody few sockets would be so annoying?
Anyway, after a bit of persistence
We have liftoff.
and lots of swearing,
We have one in. Don't actually know if it's level. I should probably check that. Please be level. Oh my God, it's not. Now it's level. Boom. When I did this in the bedroom, the lugs snapped. So I don't want to over tighten it. One more turn, Will. Okay. Leave it like that. Look at that. Bang on the money. Time to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
so I'm sure you don't want to see the entire process of me wiring in the rest of the 9 sockets that I had left to do.
You twat.
But just know, it took me a while, it was extremely fiddly and frustrating, but probably after a couple of hours, everything was all wired in and looking beautiful.
All of the sockets are now on and working. The cooker switch is on. The oven is now back on. We've got another USB socket here. We've got a fuse spur for the washing machine, I think it is. Another socket there. And another 2 fuse spurs for the dishwasher and something else. Hopefully, the last and final few electrical jobs to do in the kitchen is to replace these lights. So currently, you've got 4 kind of spotlights. And I've always wanted to have a nice light bar. So that's what we've got. We've got 2 light bars to go across the width of the room. And hopefully it should be as simple as just drilling a few holes, wiring it in, putting it on, and then Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, job done, new lighting in the kitchen. And then the other thing I'm gonna do is try and add some under cupboard LED lighting.
So the first job to get this underway was to take down all of the existing lights, which did also have attached to them a white ceramic box, which is what we didn't like, but I had already previously removed that.
So all of the old lights are now down, and here is the connection to the new one. So as you can see, we've got 1 cable coming out the ceiling there, and then 2 cables coming out the ceiling there. However, on the old lights, you have a connection for each individual light. Whereas on the new light, you've only got 1 connection for all 5 different LEDs. So the plan will be connect up the new light into one of these power sources here and then screw it up. And I'll do a test on the first light first just to see if it's going to work the way I think it is.
So I had to go to the shop to pick up a few electrical bits and bobs that I would need to get the job done. I picked up some of these Wago clips and connected these onto the live, neutral and earth cables of my new cable. And then I connected this to one of the cables dangling down from the ceiling. Then all I had to do, purely just to test my theory, was just connect the other end of this cable into our new light.
So all I've done is extend that cable there all the way down here, purely just to test it. And then those wires that are up there should be able to just hide inside the casing of the light. Hey, look at that. We have liftoff, ladies and gentlemen. The light bar is working.
So the only thing left to do was to fix this black metal bracket to the ceiling, as this is what actually holds the light in place. And then I just had to cut down the cable to the length that I needed.
Trying to wire this in whilst on a ladder. Oh,
And then I could start wiring it in to our new light fitting.
we are in.
Now it was connected into the new light, the next difficult part was actually trying to screw the light fitting to the bracket that I just attached to the ceiling.
Oh God, this will be far easier with 2 people.
Because if you've ever been up on a ladder whilst trying to hold a screwdriver and screw in a tiny screw, whilst also trying to balance mid-air, it's very tiring, and this really wasn't a job that I could do by myself.
I might have to wait until Evie gets here to get some assistance with that, because having two people to hold things is going to make it much, much easier.
So later that evening, with two of us, we managed to get up these light bars no problem at all, and it certainly made the job a lot easier. And we were both really happy with the end product of how these new lights looked.
Very, very exciting news. I have just wired in this switch without an electrician. However, with some help from Leroy and John from Instagram, I have managed to figure it out, and the switch is now wired in. Evie came over last night and she helped me put up the two main kitchen lights, which look absolutely fantastic. The LED strip is above there. Whoever wired this up before, they didn't label any cable, so it was honestly just trial and error, taking one wire out at a time, trying to put another one back in. The final step for me to get this kitchen electrically done and dusted with all of the lights that we want added is to put some LED lights underneath here. The other day I put in this LED strip light. There was one originally here, however it was a little bit old and disgusting, so I thought let me just replace it for a nice brand spanking new one. We'll come back to that in a minute. This socket here was already wired in and was sitting above the cupboard. So all I did was buy this LED strip from Amazon. I've just plugged it into the socket, and this LED strip turns on and off with the light switch, which is exactly what we want. What I now want to do is to put some LED strips underneath the kitchen cupboards, and I already again have a power source here. I know this works and this is live because I tested it the other day with an LED strip. So what I'm going to do is wire this up with some of the flex cord that I've got and basically run an LED strip underneath through the cupboard and then underneath the actual unit, and again likewise underneath here through the cupboard and underneath the unit. That is all going to make a lot more sense when I show you what I've done. I am really turning into Mr. DIY, just giving things a go and seeing what happens. It's the only way I learn and the best way to kind of figure it out.
Right, now bear with me because we're going to ignore the real life Will as I try and explain in a little bit more detail exactly what I was doing and why. So the first thing that you should know, because this is something that I actually learned, is that most LED strip lights do not actually use 230 volt power to work. Instead, most LED strip lights run off 12 volt or 24 volts. There is a reason for that, so if there's any electricians watching, please leave a comment down below with some insightful, useful information that myself and many other people can learn from. So this big grey box that was already sitting on top of our kitchen cupboards is actually a 12 volt transformer, and what that does is convert 230 volts down to 12 volts or 24 volts depending on the type of transformer that you have. The LED strip light that I had bought runs off 12 volts, so all I had to do was strip down this 1.5mm flex cable. I then attached some Wago clips onto the live and neutral wires from this, and then I could connect this directly to our 12 volt transformer so that when I turned the power back on, my new cable that I had just attached has now been transformed down to 12 volts. Now that's connected like that. When I turn the power on, this cable should now have power. So I can feed this cable down the hole that goes through to the underside of the cupboard.
Hey! I've done it! When these two touch the LED strip light, we should have power. Ah. Interest. Oh my God. The theory has turned into reality. So, now what I need to do is solder this wire, these two cables, onto the LED strip light. That can then be self-adhesive stuck to the bottom of here, and then we have an LED strip light on one part of the kitchen.
So I started to do exactly what I just said. I soldered on our new cable directly onto the end of our LED strip. Then all I had to do was take off the tape and stick this LED strip onto the underside of the cupboard. Before I decided to test my work, I thought, hey, have some faith and trust in your work, Will, and continue on. So that's exactly what I did. I decided to repeat the exact same process that I'd just done, but on the other side. And after half a day's work, we had some new mood lighting in the kitchen.
But I've got to be honest with you, I had to actually redo all of the electric cabling that you've just seen me do in this video so far. So the issue that I was having is when I connected the LED strip lights, I was getting some flickering. And I also wasn't really using the correct cable. I was just using some normal 1.5mm flex cable because that's all I had lying around. However, I actually changed pretty much everything. And I went and bought some 2-core 24 volt / 12 volt cable, and that now wires directly in to our LED strip up above and also down below. What I also had to do was get myself a 24 volt transformer that has a 100 watt capacity. So what that has done is basically it has stopped the LED light strip from flickering. Don't ask me the science behind it, I just kind of knew that I needed to get one just from chatting to various different people. What that now means is that one, with the flick of the switch on the light switch, these LED strips turn on and off at exactly the same time. What it also means is I can now use this tiny little remote control to change the brightness of the LED strip. So that's 10%, 40%, 60%, 100%. There's a few different modes on it as well. So you can have a kind of a flashing mode like that, or you can have some epileptic fit.
So now, after really seeing some progress in the kitchen and it feeling so close to being 100% finished, there was one small-ish job that I had left to do.
So when we first got into the flat, I noticed that there was a gap between the granite on the actual main work surface and then the granite on the wall, and it has actually cracked. However, I've made things 10 times worse because when I was painting the ceiling and the room in here, I actually stood on the piece of granite. So the piece here that supports the induction hob is completely cracked and needs to come out. And I've got some glue and stuff to try and repair that. But I think before any of that can happen, I'm gonna have to take out the hob. I may have to take out the oven. So what lessons can I share with you? Do not stand on the edge of your granite when you're painting your ceiling. Oh wow, I did not have to do much there at all. That is already loose. So this is what we're dealing with. As I said, a broken front piece of granite, which I need to get out. And then also, I did not do this, but a broken piece at the back. Oh, there we go. I need to pry it up like that, because the whole thing has dropped. Oh no, Will. That piece must have been cracked as well, because there's no way that that tiny little bit of force that I just put through that, which wasn't even force really, I was trying to see if the rest of the work surface had also dropped, but actually it is just this bit here. Oh, bollocks. So it's the two weak points basically, the front and back of the hob.
So now I'd very carefully removed the back broken piece of granite, it was now time to remove the front piece of granite, which actually did take a lot of brute force because this was well and truly stuck in there. Oh God. That's what I was trying to avoid. Damn it. So as with everything that I've already done on this flat so far, this was all completely new to me, and working with stone and granite was an absolute first. So as always, if anybody's got any advice or suggestions on exactly how I should have removed the granite to make sure that it didn't chip, please let me know down in the comments. Anyway, thankfully I manhandled it out, and then I decided to cut a piece of batten to fix and screw this to the wall so that when I put my piece of granite back, it had this support beam underneath to give it some added strength.
Okay, so our back piece of batten is in and sturdy-ish, but should help to add a bit of support to this. Now I need to glue, I believe, both ends of this and try and slot this in, which is gonna be a little bit harder than I thought it would be. It's not gonna go in as easily as it came out, let's put it that way. So this is the glue that I've been recommending to use to glue this granite back together. It's called Tenants Mastis Polyester. I think it's Spanish. One of you guys actually recommended this on Instagram, so thank you very much. I believe this is some hardener in here, so I'm going to read the instructions, work out exactly what needs to be done, and then we will mix this up and whack it on this end, and then the inside edges as well. Ooh, interesting. Oh God. Whoa, this stuff is very, very strong. I'm going to be getting high any second now. Going in with the hardener. Not much, apparently. I'm just going to put this on the edge here. God damn it, I can't get in there. Put some on the other side. That's quite a lot. Oh God. Put some on the edge here. I can get this bottom edge in. It's this edge that I'm struggling with, which is why I think I'm going to have to just mallet it in. Okay, so this is what we're currently working with. This is the left-hand side, and then this is the right-hand side. You can't even really see it. It looks quite good, actually. I'm just hoping that I put enough hardener in and that it's going to dry. It's deceiving me a little bit that the gap on the left is bigger than the one on the right, because that is perfectly level.
So getting the back piece of granite back into place surprisingly wasn't too bad. So now as I waited for that to dry, I could start working on the front piece, and I repeated the exact same process. However, I added a little bit more hardener just so the glue would actually dry a little bit quicker. And I also had to add these little shims and another piece of batten underneath where my granite was going to go, just to again add some more strength and support to it.
We are absolutely going to get some cracked bits now as I try and smack this one in. Oh dear. How am I going to get you in? I knew you'd be a bastard. There we go. Okay, I think we're actually in place here. I think, anyway. Oh, I've just seen I've cracked it in the middle. Oh no. I've cracked it in the middle because I've been trying to force it in and then it's snapped in the middle. Scheisenhagen, that's not good. I may have made this worse. If anybody's got any better tips on how I should have fixed this, please let me know. Put it in the comments. First time ever working with stone or granite.
Once the glue had hardened up, which didn't take too long at all, I started to scrape it all off with one of these decorator spatula things, I don't know what you call them, and then I even took my sander to it and just gave it a wipe down to try and make it look as neat as possible.
I'll tell you what, it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but that is rock solid. And that back piece is even more solid because it doesn't have a crack down the middle, so no idea how long this will actually last, but I think I'm ready to put this back on. Very, very impressed with that glue, that's for sure.
A few moments later.
Oh, dearie me, Houston, we have a problem. The piece of batten that I've put under this to support it is now stopping the hob going all the way down. Fantastic, Will. Oh my God. Have no fear, I have a plan.
So after cutting out the piece of batten that was in the way, it was time to put all of this back together. Fresh new bead of sealant along the edge of the granite to put it all back together nicely, and then to finish it off, another bead of sealant underneath the hob. And after a bit of a wipe down and a tidy up, our kitchen had a brand new feel to it.
There we have it. A fixed granite worktop which had 2 snapped bits at the back. The induction hob is back in and this kitchen is looking fantastic.
There is also one other thing that you may or may not be able to see that I've also upgraded in the kitchen. And of course, that is some more LED lights. I decided to put them on the kickboards underneath the bottom cabinets just because I always wanted to do it and I think it looks absolutely lovely. We are missing the kickboard for the fridge. I think I threw it away, so we need to try and get another kickboard for down there. And the reason I wasn't able to put the LED lights under the oven or under the dishwasher, they don't have anything underneath them to stick anything to, so kind of had to just skip out the oven and the dishwasher. When we get a new board there, that will fill that in and look lovely. And I can now finally say, in my humble opinion, this kitchen is done. Decorated, granite fixed, new sockets on, new LED wiring, new strip lights. We've got 2 new lights up above, a lovely new paint job. I also went and squared up all of the actual cupboard doors, all of the drawers, because this one was completely hanging out like that. For some reason it was broken. None of the lines in the cupboards or anything kind of matched or, you know, looked nice at all. So I spent a good day or so just doing the finessing touches and the finer details just to really make this kitchen feel completely finished, which, like I say, I think it is now.